Hello everyone, my name is Naomi, aka Nifty Nomi, and welcome to my channel, Be That Business. I'm a Canadian bookkeeper and a new business educator, and I help entrepreneurs look under the hood to see how it all works. I'm fighting the good fight against double work and against giving CRA more money than you have to. Today, I'll be sharing a QuickBooks Online payroll bug and a challenge to Intuit QuickBooks Payroll to fix it, because their payroll add-on is non-compliant, at least here in Ontario, and I think that's unacceptable. And I'm also going to provide a fix for all the people that it's affecting. Now, I'm a QuickBooks girl through and through. I have been using QuickBooks for a couple decades now, mid-90s, because my first part-time job in high school was in an accounting department that used QuickBooks Desktop. And so then I've been using QuickBooks Desktop for a really long time. And when they transitioned to QuickBooks Online, it took a while for them to bring it up to their usual standards. But in my opinion, they've reached it. It's a lot of bells and whistles, but once you get comfortable with where things are and some of the superpowers of QuickBooks Online, it really is my favorite so far. I have tried different apps as well. I do enjoy trying new applications and seeing how they work. So still, I'm a QuickBooks girl though, through and through. So I am a fan of QuickBooks Online. I have tutorials on how to use it. I train people on how to use it, and it is my bookkeeping app of choice. Bookkeeping, only bookkeeping. I do not suggest that people use it for payroll because of these little quirks and little bugs that they still haven't worked out. But this one is by far the one that makes me the most frustrated, because it's regarding, first of all, communication to the employees. It doesn't communicate true information to the employees, and that's just unacceptable. And then if the person running the payroll is unaware of this bug, it can make their general ledgers be incorrect as well. So many things wrong with it. It is not compliant. And again, so this is my challenge into it. I will take this YouTube video down when you fix this very big bug that's been around for, I don't know, like maybe 4 or 5 years so far. Like I've been asking them to fix this for a long time. And also the fix on how to fix it manually if this is affecting your business. So who does it affect? So if you are running a business in Ontario and you're paying employees in Ontario, you have to follow the Employment Standards Act, the ESA. And the ESA prescribes, at minimum, so it could be more than that, but at minimum, is to pay your employees, either accrue it or pay it out on each check, but 4% vacation pay. And 4% is really just 2% of 52. So that's 2 weeks out of 52 weeks. And so most of the time, a lot of businesses will accrue this vacation pay. And then maybe if there's a 2-week vacation in the summer, they'll pay it out, or maybe they'll give a week. They'll pay it out for a week in the summer and then may pay out what's left for a week at Christmas time or what have you. And 4% is where it starts at. And then if you have an employee for 5 years, on the 5-year anniversary, it flips to 6%, which actually represents 3 weeks, because 6% is 3 weeks out of 52. And it's not done on a time basis. The ESA says that it needs to be done on an earnings basis. So we're talking 4% of the earnings needs to be paid out to the employee, either, on each paycheck or accrued. And it's the earnings amount, the dollars and cents, that needs to be accrued and paid out when it's time for the employee to go on vacation. So if you are an employer in Ontario and you are accruing vacation, so if it's paid out on each check, doesn't matter, it's fine, this works. But if you only have employees on salary, then there's no accrued vacation, it's just this is how much for the year, and it doesn't affect you either. But if you are accruing vacation pay on hourly employees and you're using QuickBooks Online, this bug affects you, and then I'm going to show you how you can tell if it's affecting you and how to fix it. Let's get started. So what I have here is an example list of paychecks for a fake employee. And it's really simple. They're getting $15 an hour, 80 hours of pay. Like their hours could fluctuate. It doesn't matter. I just threw in 8 hours of pay just to show you. But the hours could fluctuate. Doesn't matter. This is just a basic test employee. And we can see that they've been employed. They've been employed for the past, couple of months, whatever. And they've earned some earnings. If I click on the net pay, we can see a little further what's going on. There's the $15 an hour for 80 hours, fine. And we can see if we scroll down that they have accrued, now skip the hours for a second. Oh, that bothers me. But they've accrued $48 for this paycheck. And what that is if we take 1200, 1200, and we multiply it by 0.04, that gives us $48. And that is what that $48 is. In Ontario, we accrue based on earnings. Now you can translate what those earnings would be if you wanted to talk about hours. That's fine. And I mean, because this is a simple, straightforward paycheck that nothing weird is going on, we can say, well, if they've got $48 and we divide that by $15 an hour, theoretically, how many hours are available? 3.2. So we can see where the 3.2 comes from. Fine. So there's an example of just what's going on here, and everything's okay, and I'm happy. So let's go back to the employee list. And what we can see here, we can see the available vacation is $240, okay? And that represents 16 hours. Okay, because 16 times 15 is 240. One thing that QuickBooks just started doing, I think was it last year, COVID's got my time frame all screwed up, but I think it was in the middle of 2021 that they suddenly changed that instead of just accruing vacation and saying, oh, by the way, 240 is due to them, it also is now increasing the vacation pay payable on the general ledger, on the balance sheet, and also the wages expense related to that 240. So by doing these payroll transactions, what I've done is on my balance sheet, it'll say that I owe 240 in vacation pay payable, and I can come here and see who I owe that for. For example, employee test 2. And on the balance sheet, it's in the dollar amount, which is correct. So again, everything's working. Naomi, what's the bug? What's your issue? I'll show you my issue. Let's give this employee test a raise. Let's give them a raise to $20 an hour and see what happens. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to take their pay and I'm going to change them to $20 an hour. Click there. And I'm just going to give them a raise $16 an hour, like $20 an hour, like this. I'm going to hit save. So they got a raise. They were doing such a great job. Gave them a raise. I'm going to hit done. So the 16 hours is still showing. Why? Why did this not change, QuickBooks? Now is the time for QuickBooks, not me. I shouldn't have to do that. QuickBooks needs to update this 16 hours because the employee only has $240 in vacation accrued, but their paycheck, when I run it, will say they have 16. What is $16 times 20? $16 times 20 equals $320. The employee does not see the earnings in dollars. They see it in hours and like, oh, I got $16. Oh, that's $320. It's not. They've accrued $240. Anyway, let's run payroll and just confirm that that's exactly what's going on and it doesn't update after the paycheck. I'm just going to click a date here. That one, sure. And so if it was March 26th, that means they'd be paid on April 1st, April Fool's Day. Let's give them $80. And let's preview payroll and submit. Excellent. And I mean, we can take a look and you can see that 1,600 is their pay now. And what's 1,600 times 4%? 1,600 times 0.04 equals $64. Down here, $64. That's right. They've accrued 3.2, I guess, that's sure. But their hours available is not 19.20. Like, that needs to change. Their amount available is 304. So what is 304 divided by their $20 rate? 304 divided by 20, they have 15 hours now available, not 19.2. Because in Ontario, we accrue our vacation pay by the earnings 4%, not by the hours. Okay. I'm sure there are people who do hours. You can do hours. I'm sure you can, but that is not like, pick one. They don't match, right? So if I said 19.2 times $20 an hour, that's 384. That's not 304. But yet my general ledger says 304 vacation pay is payable. But if I paid them out 19.20, my balance sheet will now go negative. My balance sheet gets all screwed up. The GL account that tracks the vacation pay payable gets screwed up, goes into the negative, when really what it should be doing is adjusting and increasing wages because I'm overpaying for vacation that they didn't accrue in earnings. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It's not compliant, guys. This isn't working. Okay, can you tell that I'm frustrated? I'm sorry. Like, I really love QuickBooks Online. It's just this payroll module just isn't there yet. And it's been doing this for years. And what's so frustrating is the employee sees the hours. They think they've got 19 available. And you know what? If their pay stub says 19.2 is available, I think, like, does that mean the employer has to pay it? Like, I don't know. But I can tell you how to fix it. And then I can also show you how it's not fair to the employee either. So in this case, the employee comes out ahead and the business loses. Fine. And I'm going to show you the flip side. I can show you where the employee doesn't get what is due to them and the employer doesn't lose, but isn't being compliant. So let me show you that one as well. First of all, let's show you how to fix it. I can show you how to fix it. It's really easy to fix, actually. But if you don't know, it's wrong. And the employee's pay stub is wrong. So it's not the solution. It's like a part-time patch until QuickBooks fixes it, please. Okay. So what we're going to do is, first of all, I want to see what it should be. I can do it with a calculator. I did it while we were chatting. Or we can just use a spreadsheet, which is like a massive calculator for me. And so the name is employee, because it's just employee. And the rate is $20 an hour. So what does it say for available hours? 19.2. And then what does it say is the available amount? 304. The hours should be 15.2 because 304 divided by 20 is 15.2 hours, right? And so we need to reduce how many hours are payable by 4 hours. We don't change the amount accrued because that is the 4% of their earnings. That is correct. But we want to change what the hours are showing on the pay stub and what they're showing on the screen here to be the correct amount. Again, the employees don't see this earnings. They only see the hours. So like, it's the important one that's wrong. Kind of guts me. Well, this one has to be right as well. I think I would be okay with it if the employee at least saw 304. Like, that's just what I'm saying. Let's go ahead and show you how to fix that. Let's bring it down by 4 hours to be 15.20. So we're going to go into employee test and we're going to edit their pay. And in here is where we can change the available vacation hours and the available vacation balance. Now, again, we don't need to change 304. 304 is correct. We need to change this. If we change the 304, I do believe it affects the general ledger. I've never tried it because I've never needed to. It's been right. But what I do need to do is I need to change the hours. And if I adjust them, it doesn't affect the general ledger, which is what I don't want to have happen, which is good. So I'm glad this adjustment option is available. And remember, we just want to reduce it by 4 hours. So we say -4 to 15.20. That's it. Done. It's easy fix. So that's good. So now on their check, it's going to show 15.20. So you need to update the hours every time you give an employee a raise, and you need to do it before you issue the check. So first of all, you increase their pay rate on their employee file, then you come and you fix the available hours, then you run the paycheck, and moving forward, it'll be fine as long as they don't have anything weird happen like overtime. Okay, so overtime or a raise is when you're going to get this bug sticking its ugly head out. So let me show you what overtime looks like. So let's run payroll. I'm just going to pick a random pay period because it's just for playing around. And we are going to say, so if it was, I try to make it kind of the same, I guess. If it was April 9th, then it would be the 15th. And then, so the regular pay hours, let's say is 44 hours. They just paid, maybe they just worked 1 week, and then they knew they had to get something done by the end of that week. So they worked an extra 10 hours. Okay. So they worked 10 overtime hours. So in Ontario, overtime is time and a half. So instead of getting paid $20 an hour for those 10 hours, they're actually getting paid $30 an hour. Excellent. That's fine. That's how it's supposed to work, right? But in Ontario, we need to accrue 4% of the earnings. So let's take a look. We have to accrue 4% of their earnings, and their earnings is 1180. So 1180 multiplied by 0.04 equals 47.20 cents. There it is, 47.20 cents. Good, right? So far, so good. They have accrued 4% of the hours, though. 2.16? Well, that's wrong, because 2.16 times 20 is not 47.20. 2.16 times their regular rate of $20 an hour is $43.20. So if we were only going by the amount of hours and only doing 4% of hours, it is now completely non-compliant. It is now accruing less than they need to be to be paid, because as I said, 2.16 times the regular rate of 20 is $43.20, and we need to accrue a full $47.20. In Ontario, we cannot accrue hours as it's got to be one or the other. You can see mathematically it cannot be both. It's just math. Anyway, so we're going to hit OK, and we're going to see what's going on now on the employee listing here. So now we can see that it says there are 17.36 hours available, which is incorrect. We've already found that out. Now, 351.20 is correct. It was doing the 4% amount, but it's not showing that to the employee on the stub. And it's showing the employee only has 17.36 hours. So the employee, let's try that. 17.36 multiplied by 20. The employee, if we're going by hours, will only get paid out $347.20. That is less than what they are owed, $351.20. So again, we're going to have to fix it. Same way with this spreadsheet right here. What you can do is you can list all of your employees and you can say what the available hours are. So the available hours are on the screen incorrectly is 17.36 and the available amount is 351.20. And so we have to increase how many hours are owed by 0.20. And we would do that for all the employees and make sure they were all zero. And if they weren't, we'd fix it. And that's not right, QuickBooks. Like, why are you making like that? That basic math doesn't work here. You've got to update the available hours that are on this screen if you want this vacation module to work. And most people just look at the hours available and they don't even realize that what's going on whenever they give a raise or an employee is paid overtime is incorrect. And again, if they're just going by the hours, it's going to mess up their GL. It's like their balance sheet is going to have, and this is just one employee, but when you've got a lot of employees getting paid out vacation, like it's very difficult to correct when maybe a service provider comes in to try and figure this out at the end of 1 or 2 years. It's like just doable. It's just math. but it's a lot of work. And this is why I say that the QuickBooks Online Payroll add-on is not compliant and needs to be fixed. So this is my call to QuickBooks Intuit. This is a major compliance issue with your payroll software. I am currently not advising my clients to use the QuickBooks Payroll add-on because of this non-compliant bug. I'm not aware of any other non-compliant bugs with QuickBooks Payroll, the add-on. There are a few quirks that I don't necessarily like about it that I won't go into, but for the most part, it works fairly okay. But when it comes to payroll, is fairly okay good enough? No, we need it 100% compliant, and this needs to be fixed. If you found this video useful, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'm on Instagram at BeThatBusiness. You can tweet at me. I'm at NiftyNomi on Twitter, and I'm also at NiftyNomi on Twitch and TikTok. And you can find resources and courses about running a Canadian business on my website, naomiwilkins.ca. Yes, including QuickBooks Online. I too really like QuickBooks. I am a QuickBooks girl. You can subscribe to my newsletter. It's created to be interesting and useful, and it comes out twice a month, once on the 14th and once on the 29th. The video today was recorded in beautiful Gananoque, Ontario. Thanks so much for watching, and get out there and be that business that thrives.